Hello guys, my name is Deema Nartov and today we are shooting the first episode for our new YouTube channel. We call this channel Investigator and it's going to be about franchising and investment opportunities. I'm the CEO and founder of a few companies. One of them is Sugar NYC that we turned into the franchising operation this year. Even though we are franchising, we're still opening the corporate locations. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the whole process from the construction to the grand opening. Also, I'm going to take you to Franchise Creator, the Miami-based company who helps to convert your business into the franchising model and helps potential investors to select the right franchise. This is the first episode of Investigator. This is Miami. Let's go. Here we are guys, here in Miami with Hossein Kasmai, the CEO and founder of Franchise Creator. Nice to see you, Hossein. Amazing that we get to meet again.
Thank you, Deema. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So we were told there's a nice coffee shop somewhere around. How about
there is actually one real close if you want to walk that way. Yeah?
How about we go there?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so let's get some coffee. Actually, I'm gonna have some tea.
Hi, how are you? Can I get you have a cold brew, something? That's beautiful, by the way, look at this. It's great. All kinds of...
Right, they have from all around the world. So you can try it.
This place? They have different locations?
Coffees are like, you see Kenya, Mexico, Jamaica, Hawaii, Ethiopia. So you can try, coffees from around the world.
You guys have multiple locations?
Yes.
10 locations? Is it a franchise or it's a company owned? Only one owner? Do they plan to go franchising? Do you know?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Interesting.
So this is a very good example of a company that should be franchising. They have a beautiful branding. They have obviously a very nice setup.
Yep.
They've done a great job. They're expanding. They have multiple locations. But this is the issue that we have half the time they don't really understand what franchising is. They feel like they're not ready. So when we get in touch with them, explain to them why this is a franchisable concept and why other coffee places like this have done so well, that's when we can get them to take the step.
I understand.
Once we get that owner on the phone, we're able to convince them. Actually, what we do first is we try to evaluate if the whole thing is a match.
Yeah.
Remember, franchising is not about one thing. It's about a combination of everything. Everything has to be in place for that company to be franchisable. For example, if the branding is good, but the personality of the owner isn't right, and he personally isn't ready for franchising, the match is not there. The other way around, if you have an owner that is very motivated, very ready, has the CEO quality, because remember, franchising is about growing, and you need to be able to manage a group of franchisees.
Correct.
You have to have the personality, you have to have the know-how. And if you don't have that CEO qualities, and then yet the other side, so we have to match the whole thing together. So you have to have a good, ready owner and proper branding. And if the whole thing is in place, that's when we qualify that company as a franchisable brand. Now, if any of these elements are not in, we work with the owners, we get them there. Yeah.
Packaging is extremely important. I think it's only going to go up.
100%. You know, Deema, I've said this in some of the talks that I've had in the past, but I find it fascinating. Silk milk, which is a very trendy thing. When I say silk milk, I'm talking about soy milk, or Silk happens to be one of the brands, but soy milk in general, or almond milk, or any of these guys. I'm talking about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you could find these in grocery store aisles.
Right.
As you're shopping and you're going down, and there'd be the little square boxes, and you take them. And for me, I never figured out why would anybody buy something like, because it didn't resemble as milk, right? It seemed like something for older generation, older people would take it or something like that. I was never attracted to something like that. So what they did is they did something very, very ingenious. They took the same product, put it into a packaging that looked like a milk carton, and put it in the refrigerator section. Now remember, soy milk does not need to be refrigerated. It's soy, right? They put it in the refrigerator section of the.
So now it clicks with the people that this is a milk.
People are actually
Just healthier
realizing
milk.
This,
Yeah.
Oh, this could be a milk replacement. Now it's trendy.
Hey guys, so we're visiting one of our new locations. We're doing a construction. I have a short little meeting with the general contractor. Let's go. What is going on?
We're digging for the
So we ended up.
clean out.
So you need to do this?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta bring a line from here into your space. So it'll come out there, it'll pop back in here, it'll go here to your toilet, here to your sink, here to your mop sink.
And it's already on the plans?
Yeah. So you remember that setback that we were not gonna put in?
Yeah.
We have to put it in because they want us to put a water fountain right here.
So the wall goes here. This is the wall?
This is the wall to the bathroom, and then this will be where the door is.
Okay.
And then in the inset, you'll have that. This is already in, your panel. I just got the inspection, it's approved. Everything all the way to the meter room. The meter can is in, now we're gonna pull wire,
Good job.
okay? Sign everything off before. So, here's the plans.
So these are the official final plans
These are the official plans
for this space.
And then your official final plan for your interior with the revisions will be done today. So this is the approved plan for the tenant separation,
All right.
which shows a bathroom or a future bathroom.
Hossein, this is a pretty talented graphic designer.
Oh wow. This is much larger than the previous office. Oh my God.
Yeah. We had to expand. Hopefully, we'll outgrow this in the next couple of years and have to.
Hopefully we'll see, yeah, of course.
But we're comfortable here. We have a couple of conference rooms. We have
Which is very important, right? You have actually business owners coming over here, right?
all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Daily, we have this here is almost like the setup of Shark Tank, where we have business owners come in with their greatest ideas
Yes.
and products and what have you. Some of them are wheeling things in and they're bringing it in and they come to the office and, hey, what do you think about this idea? Is this idea you think franchisable?
Do not disturb. Please.
You know, I have to put this sign
have to
up.
put this sign, huh?
I have to put this sign up because, you know, they don't stop.
Let me stop on one of those equity partners that you took.
We took an equity ownership in a company called Pokeball last year.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, they've grown very fast, and we're very, very, very proud of that particular brand. So they come to us, Deema, last year around August of, this is 2018. They had 5 corporate-owned locations.
Aren't they in California?
They are
Okay.
in California, 5 corporate-owned locations. They came to us to help them franchise their business. We took an equity ownership in that particular venture, and that is a good example to see what our involvement, direct involvement, day-to-day involvement with that company, taking the managerial role would do. That location from August of 2018 till now, which is end of September, which is about a year and a month, has grown from 0 franchises to 71 franchises.
No way.
This is a company that had 0 existence a year ago. And
Yeah.
today, they are the second largest and fastest growing brand in that industry. That is what our direct involvement can.
What made you specifically get your interest involved in the Pokeball business?
So Asian food has been one of the fastest growing sectors. And then Poke in particular in the Asian food industry is among even a faster growing sector. Why? Because it really addresses the need for the millennial market. The millennials like to eat healthy, but unfortunately they don't have the pocket for it.
Right.
In other words, they don't have much money, but what I call they have champagne dreams with a beer budget, right?
Yep.
So what happens is they want to eat Asian food, which is sushi and so forth and so on. They're younger, so they eat more. A roll of sushi typically costs $15, $16, $18. You're not going to get full with one roll of sushi. You're going to have to get 2 rolls. That's a $36 lunch or $30 lunch. They can't afford it. Poke resolved that problem. You go in, you get a bowl. You can have a base of rice. You can have a base of salad or whatever you wish, and then you put a whole mound of raw fish on top with a whole lot of toppings. But yeah, so that resolved the problem because now you can get a bowl and get full and eat extremely healthy and have that sushi quality or type of a food, healthy food, which again meets the millennial needs,
Right.
for $15, $14. So it solved that problem, and for that reason, poke is growing extremely fast in the United States and probably even worldwide. It started from Hawaii, came to California, and it's little by little spreading throughout the United States. So we took an interest in that because of that reason, because we felt it's the right industry. Then we matched ourselves with the right company within that industry. Now we have franchised, here at Franchise Creator, we have franchised about 12 different poke brands, and they're all growing very well, but
Wow.
Pokeball is significantly faster in growth than all of them
Why do you think it's so?
because of our personal involvement in it.
I saw they have one specific room with a lot of brands on the wall.
We do.
Can you stop a little bit on this and explain to me, like, what is this?
Sure, come on in.
Wow.
Let's take a look. Absolutely. So
Oh my
this
God.
happens to be what we call our Wall of Fame, all right?
It's not actually one, there's multiple. Wow.
It's always a good problem when you're running out of walls, right?
Absolutely.
So this happens to represent probably 60% of our clients, simply because we just don't have enough wall space. Which again, I'm happy to to have that problem all day, every day.
Is my company here?
Absolutely, it is right there.
Let me ask you something. Was there any case in the history of Franchise Creator that people came to you, they explained to you about their business, they told you how they work, how they operate, how many locations they have, and you're like thinking, this cannot be franchisable?
The answer to your question is yes. There are very few businesses that are not franchisable. So one of the things that we're very good at here, because of our entrepreneurship spirit, we are able to create and redo your business model, even if it's not franchisable, to make it franchisable. So in many cases, we work with business owners and we make their business franchisable. But there are instances that they came in here, they presented us with a model that we felt was either A, not ready, or B, wasn't franchisable. So what's an example of a not franchisable business? A business that depends very, very heavily on the owner, on the owner's talent, right? If you remove the owner, the business would basically just fall apart and they just cannot go on. For me, frankly, I would never start a business that is not scalable. I always tell all my clients and everyone that comes to me for consulting, I always tell them, if you are building a business, make sure the business that you're building from day one, from the get-go, is very much scalable.
Right.
And you can grow.
When is a good time to start franchising for the company?
People think franchising a business is something that you have to do when you have 5 locations, 10 locations, or even 3 locations. Some of the most successful brands that you see out there started franchising with only 1 location, right? I mean, a lot of you guys have seen the McDonald's movie, The Founder, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they had 1 location and Ray Kroc came to them and took him to the franchise route. So, Subway started franchising with 2 locations, and on and on. I can give you a whole lot of examples of companies that had only 1 location and they were in business for just a number of months before they went the franchise route. So quite frankly, When is the right time for a business to be franchised? There isn't any reason why you can't franchise your business months after you started it. There really is nothing stopping someone from taking a business that you started, you already have. So this leads me actually to something more important. Why would I franchise my business?
Yep.
And
What are the
would-
benefits?
Yeah, why would, well actually more important than that, why would someone buy a franchise from me, right? So the reason they're buying a franchise from you is because you already have the branding set up, right? You already picked the name. You already have the domain name. You already have a trademark. You have all your brochures and sales material. You have your, if it's a restaurant, you have your menu set up. If you have already a website and the website has been around for a few months and has some authority on Google, you have social media that has a number of followers. So you have all this stuff is set up. And of course, throughout the process, you'll learn about the whole thing. You had some bumps on the road.
Yep.
You fell, you got a bump in your head, but you got up and moved forward. And that is why somebody wants to buy your franchise.
So in a way, franchisees are buying the time for themselves.
Buying the time, and time is money.
Yep.
Time is money. So they're buying into this business because otherwise they have to go and spend the time and spend the money and make the mistakes. But at the end of the day, if you have, for me, I always tell my clients, if you have a business, the business has been proven, your sales are going up, you're getting very good, ratings online. People are liking what you have.
Right.
You don't have a 1-star rating. Your business is improving day after day, week after week, month after month. It's franchisable.
Right.
You can take it to the next level.
Is there any disadvantages, possible disadvantages, some loops in the process of franchising that can essentially damage your company while it's being franchised?
So no, if people tell me, okay, this is all fine and dandy, there has to be a fine line, there has to be a catch. I mean, it can't be all good. But look, it is all good. It is all good. I did it. I can tell you that it's all good because it was all good for me. Do you think it's any bad for McDonald's? Do you think McDonald's is looking back and say, okay, now we have 13,000 locations, we shouldn't have franchised? No. Do you think Subway is crying about franchising after 43,000 locations? You name me a brand that's out there that is a huge brand and they're looking back and say we should have never franchised. So there really isn't a catch, because if there was a catch, franchising would have stopped many, many moons ago. It continues to go and it becomes more of a mainstream growth strategy for business owners because it works.
So when the new company comes to you and wants to franchise their business, what do you think is a stopping factor sometimes, whenever it happens, for the owners to make that first step and start franchising?
Like I said earlier, franchising is about education. Once you educate people about franchising, the rest is history. They'll learn what it is. Again, this misconception that I'm not ready because I don't have 4 locations. I'm not ready because I haven't been around for 5 years. I'm not ready because my sales aren't there yet. All of these I'm not readies, we know exactly that these are all misconceptions about franchising. If you look at a lot of the franchise concepts that were there, and once again I use McDonald's as an example, these businesses weren't around for way too long, didn't have multiple locations, didn't have sales that were going through the roof, didn't have any of that, and yet they franchised. So it's really misunderstandings about franchising is what holds people back from moving forward. Now, money obviously is another issue. You have to have the funds, because you can't have $17 in your bank account and want to franchise your business.
Right.
You gotta have the funds. Why? Obviously, you need to pay us to franchise your business. There's legal involved. There's accountants involved, and all of that. A lot of work involved. But at the end of the day, you have to have some funds for advertising and marketing your franchise once it goes live. But I always tell people, Deema, this is the best investment you can make in your business. Yes, you're spending some money in franchising your business, but you're going to get that money back with the sale of 1 or 2 franchises.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
It has to be a no-brainer, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a no-brainer.
While doing research on the internet, I saw that there is so many companies who actually offer to convert your business into the franchising operation. Can you explain to us how are you different and what are the things that you do differently in your company?
You know what? That's actually a very good question, Deema, you ask. There are a handful of companies out there that do what we do, but they don't really do what we do. They say they do what we do, right? So franchising a business, it takes a lot to turn a business, in our eyes, in our standards, to turn a business into a franchise operation. It isn't a set of documents that you give someone and you say, all right, good luck to you. Have a nice day. This is what they do. We're an all-inclusive franchise consulting firm. We happen to be the only all-inclusive franchise consulting firm. What does that mean? That means we not only franchise your business, but we sell. I know that every single franchise concept is sellable. Okay? Some sell more, some sell less, but every single franchise concept, I don't care what concept you have, we can sell it. If it's done properly, if it is, look, a business owner comes to me and says, how do you know my franchise is sellable? And I'm like, oh, you bought into it. You started this franchise, you started this business. So there's a guy like you out there that wants this business too, because you put your heart and soul into it and money into it and started this business. There's somebody out there that has the same mentality as you do. So that's how you know the business is sellable, because somebody already started that business and is doing well with it. So I don't care what franchise you have, that franchise is sellable if it is marketed correctly, if it is advertised correctly, if it's branded correctly.
If the leads are handled by the right salesman, I would assume.
Of course, and absolutely. There is an ethical way of selling a franchise, there's a legal way of selling franchises, and every one of our guys in here are fully trained to do every single call that comes in here is handled ethically and extremely legally. Because the last thing you want to do is, sell these franchises like used cars. We don't sell franchises to any person with a heartbeat and a checkbook. We sell franchises to vetted people only. You have to be the right person. If you got $1 million in your bank account, we may deny you. Franchises are not sold, they're awarded. That's extremely important. We always tell people that franchises are awarded and they're not sold. There's a reason why people stand in line to buy an iPhone on September or something every year when it comes out. They want to be the first one to buy it, because Apple tells them, you're not going to have this. It's only limited quantities available. It's the same thing with franchises. We only have limited quantities available in a given city. We want to handpick the right people to put in this particular city and then close the city and say there's no more space available in this city. We go to the next city. So those guys have to be fully vetted.
So another question that I have, Hossein, is what do you think the young people, the younger generation, kids who just finished university or college maybe, should they buy into a franchise? Should they look at the franchising opportunities? Or maybe they should start their own. They should try to figure out whatever they want to do, whatever they're good at, maybe their parents' background and stuff, and try to create their franchise to be able to offer the franchise for the public.
Right. That's always $1 million question, right? Because if you're going to start a business on your own, first thing I say is that you only start a business that's scalable, that can grow, that you can hopefully someday franchise it and see it grow through franchising. But if you're opening a location, your mindset is to open one location and do that for the next foreseeable future, my suggestion is always to do a franchise. Here's why. Because as I said earlier, time is money, and you're going to lose a whole lot of time. Let's assume you want to open let's just go with something very standard, a pizza shop. Okay, well, I've never had a pizza shop. That's me right here, Hossein Kasmai. Never had a pizza shop. How do I start? Okay, first I got to come up with a name. All right. So now I'm going to spend days coming up with a name that may have issues out there. In other words, trademark issues, copyright, all kinds of stuff out there. So I got to do a thorough research about this name. Make sure the domain is available. Make sure the thing is trademarkable. Then you're going to hire a developer to develop your website, because you have to have a presentable website. Then you have to create the social media and then go out there and get following. And all of this, you're starting at ground floor. So now you're going to go out there and do all of this systems. You haven't even started the business.
Yep.
Then you're going to look for a location. Well, how big of a location do I look for? I have no idea. You may overshoot or you may undershoot. You may get yourself into a huge rent, not knowing that half the store is empty and you could have gone with a smaller space. What equipment do I order? Okay, there are pizza ovens. I can research it, but which one does really work and produces the better pizza?
Will I end up using it down the line?
Exactly. Yep. Which one is the one that's always down and breaking? And so you can't have your business down. So all of these are questions that remain unanswered if you go on your own. So you're going to bump your head and you're going to fall a few times before you get up. 50%, according to the Department Chamber of Commerce, 50% of businesses that start on their own are no longer around 12 months later. Only 50% make it past the 12-month time frame.
Wow.
That's because when people fail 3 times, they're out, right? So the person who's made it, the people that come to our office and they want to franchise their business, they have gone through the failures and they have done what they had to do. They come here to franchise because now we are telling a franchisee who wants to buy into this franchise, all the kinks have been already worked out. You're buying into a brand that's already been established, has website, has social media following, has a trademark, has the know-how. Already, it's going to tell you what size of a location you need.
Vendors.
The vendors,
Everything lined up.
everything has been vetted. And this is why you have a much higher chance of succeeding going with a franchise than going on your own.
I understand now. So yeah, guys, it's totally up to you. Either you want to be a franchisor or you want to buy into the franchise. But one thing I know for sure is that Hossein, he's the man. He knows everything about it, and he's an incredible team of people who are ready to help you out. Hossein, I wanted to ask you, can we give some kind of a discount to my subscribers, maybe for initial filing, for your services and stuff like this? What can you offer?
Yeah, I'm happy to work with your subscribers. I want people to succeed, and if you've had a chance to watch this video, you've gone through a few minutes of really education about franchising, and I want to help people out. Yeah, we can do something like maybe a 5% discount on our fees.
Can you do 10%? Come on, just for us, Hossein.
Yeah, no problem.
10% discount?
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, if you want to get 10% off and start franchising your business, mention keyword investigator when you contact Franchise Creator. So when do you plan to do the room frame?
Next week.
Next week?
All your framing can be done in unit.
Cool.
This is your line. When Dasha was over here,
Yeah.
we were going back and forth, so we were able to move it and give enough space, and this will be the power.
Okay, and we remember that we need one power here.
Well, that's already in your plan.
Okay,
So all your outlets are 60 inches above the finished floor.
That's fine. Plasma is big, we'll usually move it up.
Yeah,
Right? So,
exactly.
yeah.
And then here, your reception will be right here, and here's your power.
All those outlets are going to be live, right?
They're going to be live.
Okay, no
Everyone, I made a resolution with the architect
Uh-huh.
for Daytona Beach. We figured out how we're going to make it work
Really?
without it by making some changes, moving some doors, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, man. That's good. Then I'll see you next Monday, I guess. Sounds good?
Yes.
I'll stop by. Thank you,
Yes.
brother.
All right.
Hey guys, we just finished the meeting with Hossein Kasmai, the CEO and founder of Franchise Creator. And now I want to take you to the sales team and speak to them. Let's go.
This is our sales floor, where our sales team is busy at work, selling franchises. You can see we got the phones ringing.
So guys, what's the general process of selling the franchises, and then how can owners help your company to sell more leads for their company?
That's a great question, Dimitri. So it's a 2-lane street. So when leads come in, when they're generated, they get on the phone with us. We come in with a lot of energy. We're building a lot of rapport, and we're walking them through exactly what this business model looks like and what they're going to get out of it. Once we've done the webinar, the franchise disclosure document review, then they have the opportunity to meet the franchisor. So it's very important that the franchisor comes in.
in-person meeting or it's remote?
This is going to be over the phone.
Okay.
So we'll do a conference call, and it's important that the franchisor comes in with that same amount of energy and is working with the franchise consultant and educating them on their concerns, what's holding them back, so we can all work this together and collectively find out what's holding them back and but educate them on making the next step and the benefits that they're going to have going with this certain franchise.
So John, what would be the main reason why the company is not getting enough sale leads?
It's an analogy that I like to use, and it's in sales, right? It's dependent on leads, right? So the more leads you have, the greater opportunity for franchise sales. Why? It's like a faucet, right? So you can turn the faucet on, and you can have a flow of leads, and with a sufficient flow of leads, you're going to eventually close sales, right? So the more you open the faucet, more leads you get, the more sales you'll have. And that's truly a great analogy because It's simply put. And the biggest hurdle that we have in franchise sales for any agent working any account really is a lack of quality leads. There's a lot of ways to generate leads, some organic, some through paid advertisement, and every franchise is built different, every offering is different and truly unique, and every lead is unique depending on where it comes from. So you want to find a way to best vet the lead early on so you're not so you don't find yourself wasting time with a particular lead. You spend 30 minutes on a phone call with someone, come to find out they have $5,000 in their bank, but yet they're looking at a $150,000 startup opportunity. That doesn't work. So you want to identify that early on, and really if it's not a good fit, if it's not a good match, you don't want to get their hopes up and walk them through this lengthy sales process unnecessarily. You'll waste your time, you also waste the prospect's time. So I think if a franchisor doesn't have many leads, they need to have a very, very, very strong vetting system in place to be able to figure out how can they help that lead get to the close. If it's something they're truly interested in, there's many options out there, such as financing options. We have agencies that we work with that can help someone get a startup loan, some through secured financing methods, others through unsecured financing methods through the SBA. There's many programs out there, and by having the right relationships with the right agencies, you could really fill in those gaps and help someone with $5,000, as I mentioned, or $50,000 or even more, bridge that gap in the startup cost to be able to now have an opportunity to buy this franchise. So they have to do a lot of advertising to get those leads, but then once they take off, they say the first franchise is always the hardest one to sell. And I have many case study examples of those. Once that takes place, whether a month after they launch or a year after they launch, they take off.
Sure. What is the main difference between franchisor trying to take the sales on his own or hiring and outsourcing this to a company like yours?
That's a good question.
Wow, great question. So major difference in a company trying to do it in-house really is that they don't have an intermediary. They don't have someone that is a neutral person on the transaction. They have someone that's in-house, he's a sales agent, maybe he's making a salary, maybe he's only commission-based. The guy really wants to get that sale.
Right.
So when you have a situation like that, they have to meet quotas and they're under that type of pressure, and they end up pushing a client or a prospective franchisee, and that could be a turnoff, right? You want to be more of an intermediary, and by hiring a firm like ours to handle your franchise sales process, that's what you get. You get a true intermediary, someone that has your best interest in mind, but that can put themselves also on the side of the franchisee in a neutral way so they can have a healthy conversation around the certain points that they want to negotiate or things they don't understand. Look, franchise offering is a very complex offering, very lengthy documents. It scares people, right? So when you have a neutral person, you take away some of that stress in that discovery process early on before they get to meet with the owners and then really feel more comfortable with the deal.
So guys, another question that I had, and probably the last one for today.
Okay.
What specifically stops the companies to sell as many leads as they want per given year, for example?
That's a great question. So you could have the greatest brand out there, but if you don't advertise and generate leads, how are you going to sell a franchise?
It's a key point. It's all about leads, leads, leads. More leads you have, more you sell. The biggest hurdle that we have in this business and the franchise sales side is that clients don't want to invest in their own company. They invest in their business. They have no problem opening up another location and investing $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. But when it comes to investing $2,000 into generating leads, they stand back and they say, no, but wait a minute, I'm not going to spend that. And they're so worried about the $2,000, yet hindsight's 2020. They're going to look back and say, wait a minute, I just sold one franchise. I collected all this money in franchise fee. I could pay for my advertising for the whole year, just the sale of one franchise. So $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever your budget is and whatever you can afford to invest, it's the greatest return on that investment you'll ever receive through franchising, and that's on the sale of a single franchise.
All right, Hossein, thank you so much for your time. Sorry about us making here a little bit of a mess. It's been hectic a little bit, but then tell people how they can get in touch with you. What's your website? What's the telephone number?
First, let me thank you for being here. It was a pleasure hosting you guys today at our office here. To reach us, if you're interested in franchising your business, please go to www.franchisecreator.com. Also, you can reach us by email, info@franchisecreator.com. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to working with you guys.
All right, guys, comment down below what you think about Franchise Creator. Don't forget to subscribe to us and to Franchise Creator YouTube and Instagram channels. Thank you so much.